I want to prove that I deserve to be on this team, and I want to prove that my time into league is not wasted.
Forward comes, takes him down, but meanwhile, top lane is happening as well as IE goes.
We can win because we have the best players in collegiate in every role. I really just want to win.
There is nowhere for him to escape. His flash has been burned. The Skarner is going to take him down.
I want to prove to not only myself, but everyone, I have what it takes to be a really good mid laner, to be one of the best in collegiate and moving past that.
You see that Rice being dropped dangerously low. He's going to be dropped to the Cassiopeia. And now UCI leads.
I just really want to win. The League of Legends team has something to prove to bring a championship back to UCI Esports.
This really is a good program that really takes care of its players and cares about us.
Sidestep the Q, but he's just going to keep chasing. The Karma Q is going to take him down. The stun goes down on Squeeze. We're going to have to flash away.
We have the resources, the dedication, we put in the time. That's what makes me motivated to try my best to contribute this season.
That damage. Kog'Maw's still alive, but he's going to go down anyway. There is nowhere for him to run. He is too far from that tower, and it took a little bit of time.
I think the League of Legends team we have here this year at UCI will win it all. Our coaching staff has been really consistent.
My players do more than I could ever ask of them, and that's exactly why I think that they'll take this tournament, because when it comes down to who's going to win, it comes down to who works the hardest, and we're the ones who did that.
Welcome back to the 2018 College Championship presented by State Farm. By the way, that video was not produced by us. It was produced by UCI's esports group, really highlighting the support for these hometown heroes by students and faculty alike, which is just great to see.
Yeah, I mean, that video was sick.
Yeah.
I think whoever made that video has a bright future in video editing if they're not already crushing it.
Well, we'll have to see what happens in that department. And of course, in our next game, as Ottawa have selected blue side for game number 2. You mentioned that, you know, some adjustments in draft perhaps here could be made to kind of make things a little easier on themselves and widen the ways in which they can win. Well, blue side can help with that, certainly.
Yeah, definitely the case. It'll be interesting to see where they're actually going to go with it. I really do feel like if you're drafting that sort of a composition, it's such a narrow win condition. I think if you're trying to draft a comp that has to win early, you want at least 2 winning lanes. You want options for your jungle where he can pressure, so it's not so obvious for a guy like Youngbin to always be in position, the counter gank to always know where to ward to actually protect. But going blue side here does show they're really valuing that first pick, and I'm going to be interested to see where they're actually looking to go with it and what it is that they think is so valuable.
Well, we'll see if, maybe we even get something like the Aurelia run backpack. Played well on the pick, but they didn't quite convert in snowballing their lane. We'll see if there are changes here, but the draft will start to tell us that as Vladimir, I like that takeaway there, as that's the first ban for Ottawa away from Discraton.
Yeah, Discraton was looking really good on the Vlad, surviving a very tough early matchup, and he was enormous in those team fights, always seemed to be in the right place at the right time, finding the flanks, finding the engages with that Predator Vladimir, so that's going to get taken away. Zach is going to get taken away. This is just kind of like the classic, I don't want to play against it again. Yeah. Like, this beat me, let's get rid of it, and I think at times it can be smart, even if there are ways to beat the champions. If you are very frustrated coming out of a game, sometimes banning those away and making sure you're not going to have to deal with the same sort of style can kind of give you a little bit of a refresh mentally for the next game.
Last ban is Rakan there as well, so I think just kind of taking away the hot picks there. Both Youngbin and Discraton had very good games, so I think, just force them to play something else, at least make them show you another champion. Irvine on the other side, happy with Talia and Zoe, and maybe even one more standard ban. Skarner, yeah, sure. Kind of in the mix there as another popular champion. So Aurelia back on the table for first pick. We'll see if Ottawa change things up here.
Yeah, quite a bit of focus actually over onto Backpack, who did have a pretty good game. He was starting to pick up those kills, looking fairly good, and it's going to be Aurelia first pick again. This can be a flex, remember, maybe going mid again. Talia was actually the most played for Backpack throughout the season, so taking that away, and this could be a situation where they're trying to pinch some of the AP picks away from Backpack and maybe force him into this more kind of one-dimensional comp if you are going heavy into the AD style, because unless Jochen is comfortable playing an AP carry in the top lane, or unless you're going to bring out something like a little bit more atypical, like a Ziggs or something like this in the bottom lane, it gets difficult to get enough magic damage into your comp to really kind of force people to itemize defensively against multiple types of damage.
Yeah, and one of the things I like is that UCI even kind of took away some of the top lane AP options as well. Vlad finding the top lane, banned this game after Descraton's performance. Swain also can flex there around as well, and that is one of the picks here, paired with the Trundle there for UCI. So, I mean, it's not a done and dusted thing. There are other things you can pick to diversify your damage profile, but it's a subtle thing. But I actually like that there's kind of taking away some of those flex picks, giving themselves a bit more room in draft, and maybe even taking away the only AP champs the top laner can play, as Varus going to be an adjustment there for Ottawa.
Well, this is actually an interesting one, because Varus can actually build AP. So this may be their answer to actually kind of diversifying their damage profile a little bit here. You know, a lot of people are liking the builds. You know, Rageblade, Nashers, Death Cap, Zonies, this sort of thing can be very, very powerful. And you know, the AP scaling is actually quite good on Varus. When you are proccing those Blight stacks, and your ultimate alone does a tremendous amount of damage. So that is a pretty interesting pick that I hadn't really been thinking about. And I guess, you know, along the same lines, Kaisa has been going a lot of AP also. So I think this is pretty smart, and it does kind of help them out in that regard. Plus, Varus, I think, you know, does kind of have a fairly strong lane, and maybe allowing them to kind of get another pushing lane, something that they can get a bit of an advantage with in the bottom side.
Another defensive support here, though, for Bloodwater, going to Morgana this time, which was banned in game number 1. Ornn will now be banned away, so again, expecting Backpack to replay the Aurelia in mid and starting to take away top lane champs.
Gonna be interested to see if Ottawa actually wants to ban away the Ezreal, if they want to take away a very defensive pick here from Latman. Obviously can be pretty frustrating to deal with that TP Ezreal constantly pushing you in, constantly having that wave pressure, and they are going to take away Ezreal here, try to make it a bit more of a scrappy game, and I think this could be a key to success. You also, when you're looking at a champion like Varus, that is giving you much more gank assists, so another lane that you can perhaps target as that Graves, if you can lock them down with that ultimate.
Chana ban and Singed ban, so Kaisa left up was the one I was thinking of coming out of this draft. We'll see if the UCI want to take it. They can, of course, save it for last pick as well, in case some potential good picks into the champion are found.
Yeah, the Varus is also, you know, takeaway from Latman. It actually was his most played. Could just go to the Caitlyn here, though, if he's looking for that same kind of pushing style. When you are going Caitlyn plus range support, you are generally going to be able to have that going for you. And I'll be interested to see if he's going to go teleport Caitlyn. He's sitting on teleport right now, and this is something that a lot of players have been taking even on Caitlyn, and it's kind of just been spreading out more and more and more. When you're looking less for the kind of like interactivity in lane, and you're looking more to just always have lane pressure, always have push, it can allow you to have more safety, you know, in that you get better buy timings, you can kind of dictate the pace of it, and really force your opponents to not find those fights that they want.
Looks like Lotus going to go to, I assume, a comfort pick, given that they hovered at first pick as a potential option. So we'll take something here, and again, kind of same thing, lots of playmaking, lots of aggression possible there in the bot lane. And of course, Ottawa will once again have to blind pick their top lane. Jokin maybe moving away from the tank and off to a carry here, with Camille being hovered, is locked in as well.
Yeah, most played champion for him is the Camille, so going definitely back to comfort, and you can see the shift here. They were very frustrated by how game 1 went, slowly being bled out. Well, this is not a composition that is going to get bled out. This is a composition with a tremendous amount of engage, a tremendous amount of fight potential. When you're looking at the engage, really 4 of the 5 members do have fairly strong engage. The Aurelia throwing out the ultimate there. Ultimate from Varus to catch people. The engage from Alistar and Camille can be very, very strong. So this is setting up opportunities for them to look for plays, really in all 3 lanes. And it's going to be the Renekton coming out here from Captain Nuke as answer into Jokin, and definitely looking to have that early lane advantage is the Renekton. But if Camille gets ahead, it can be really, really tough for the Renekton in the later stages of the game. Camille can put out tremendous amounts of true damage, and it really does outduel you in the later stages.
I just like it. Nuke again taking the aggressive pick, willing to apply pressure and take something perhaps a bit riskier, not something like a tank. Given the way their competition falls, I think they've got pretty good reliability across the board, but it does feel like the comps are set up in pretty similar ways like game 1.
It's pretty interesting. I also like, you know, the draft into what Youngbin is playing. Youngbin early picks this Trundle, and they give him no true tank to kind of drain the stats from him. Yes, there is an Alistar, but he's not going to really have that much armor, that much MR to be stolen. So that does kind of hurt his team fight effectiveness and reduce how tanky he really gets. So that is something where we could see Zeri looking to get aggressive again, looking to be punishing this Trundle as the Graves in the Toronto matchup is very strong. You can actually dash, over the pillar and really kind of look to fight around there.
Yeah, I think Zari again kind of showed some aggressive colors in game number 1. We'll need to repeat that here and apply pressure to the veteran there in Youngbin. So we'll see what Ottawa have cooked up here for the next game. I'm hoping for some fireworks as always.
Very interesting to see Psyonix actually the one who goes teleport on Varus, and Latman did swap over to the heal. So both teams having 2 teleports, but they are in different roles because Descraton taking TP on the Swain, Psyonix is going TP Varus, while Backpack is on the Ignite again here on Aurelia, looking for those solo kills. And it's honestly kind of a similar matchup to how it works against Vladimir. Swain really does want to get some levels, as if you use your abilities, especially with how Nevermove works, his route, you throw that forward, and Aurelia just moves forward into you because it'll actually latch on the furthest back thing it hits, so it connects to the minions, and Aurelia can then kind of be prompted to start it all in, and that can be very difficult for Swain to deal with when the cooldowns are fairly long in the early stages. And pre-6 especially, he's super vulnerable to being taken out by something like an Ignite Aurelia plus Graves.
Well, I think Ottawa are lining up another late invade this time around. Youngbin was already the victim of the one in game number 1. So I think dutifully camping his jungle entrance, and does put a ward down as well. So should be it looks like they are expecting it, and they should scout this out if indeed Ottawa do decide to roam in.
They're going to go in for sure. Alistar is still on the top side, so they're trying to steal the red buff. There's no real reason for Alistar, I think, to be up here this late unless you're going to actually commit to a buff steal. And they are now revealed, so we have to find out what is UCI's answer. They're going to lose their red buff. Does Youngbin go blue straight to red? If he does that, does Zeri actually go red to red and try to counteract this? This is where you really have to kind of look at what these junglers are doing and get an eye into what they're trying to pull off. And honestly, Youngbin, even if Zeri tries to respond, because he got a much better leash, there's no way Zeri could even get there in time to actually stop this. So it's just going to be a trade of buffs, and neither player yet has taken more than just the one camp. In some situations like this, you'll see a player like the Graves in this situation actually just go to the Raptors.
So Lotus checking in, but is now going to get the information. Youngbin smites away the buff, and I think Zeri was maybe considering going over, but instead, with the info, does walk back. So good little scout there from Lotus.
But the thing is here, Zeri, that means he committed his time to walking all the way across that map and not farming it at the same time, right? So really, if you had all the information, what you would have wanted to do in this situation, knowing you can't contest the red buff, is steal away more camps on your opponent's side, because it's going to go into vertical jungling, and then you end up +1 camps. You've traded red buffs. If you take away the Raptors, if you take away the Krugs, that's +2 camps, because the Trundle will not be able to kind of re-invade and come back to get this. But Zeri does have his double buffs, and he's looking topside, and there's no wards out here for Captain Nuke.
Yeah, already Jokin getting aggressive and starting to trade. May have given it away.
Yeah, but Captain Nuke doesn't know. He's actually, he's
a little suspicious. But Zeri's like, all right, let's just make it happen. Oh, great smokescreen. Bounces the Q off the wall as well, but not enough damage to force a flash there. Good bind as well. Ignite falls down. Yeah, the trap goes in. Psyonix actually does manage to flash away. I think Lotus may have just zoned him off there with a headbutt, and Varus barely lives with that potion ticking.
That's that combo. Caitlyn Morgana, we talked about it in game 1, and oh my god, Youngbin can't quite get there in time. The TP will come back in, but if you ever get by the binding, you will get trapped out of that, and that is almost certain death. They're just going to die.
Another great Blackfield combo. Beautiful dive. Lotus does go down. Bloodwater even gets out from the headbutt combo, and that's first blood, UCI.
That was flawless from UCI. Such a good dive there. Youngbin doesn't even need to get involved. Bloodwater tanking it up the maximum amount of time, and now Psyonix is just going to die. Youngbin can take this up.
Oh, when you use your TP and die as soon as you get back lane, it feels bad, man. Latman getting yet another kill.
I mean, that is an insane advantage now. This is 12 CS on Psyonix. He got forced back to base. He missed multiple waves, 2 kills onto Latman. That can be a game-deciding play right there, and that is going to be such a bad feeling 4 minutes into the game.
When the TP into death happens in the top lane, it's a tragedy. I think in bot, it must be a catastrophe. UCI, get it. All sewn up there on the bot side again. The 2x pros, Latman and Bloodwater in the bot lane, getting work done as Backpack trying to apply that pressure, but gonna have to work overtime as we watch this one again.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodwater just walks in with a black shield, can't be comboed, tanks up the maximum amount of hits there, and then simply flashes over the wall at the last moment. Then Youngbin taking the Krugs. He's gonna walk in. Bloodwater again hitting the binding, tanking up the turret for one shot, backs out. This is flawless. There's nothing really that UCI could have or should have done better here. Both kills go to Latman, and the buys are just so sad to look at.
Yeah.
If you are on the side of University of Ottawa, or University of Ottawa fan, close your eyes. Don't press tab.
Look at the top.
You're scaling. Just wait.
Yeah.
Wait for late.
Look at the top 3 champions. A little bit better there as Youngin is going to sneak into the top side for another gank attempt. Nuka absorbing some pressure, maybe just here in case of some presence from Zeri.
Yep, and if Yokin goes aggressive at all, it will get turned around on him. I don't think this is a case where they can dive. You know, we're Renekton 6. That's something you can definitely look for because all of that bonus HP that he gets at level 6 certainly allows you to do it. But they're actually going for the long con here. They're still camping for this and expecting Yokin to push out. Looks like he will be. Trundle Pillar.
Yep,
Bait seal his fate.
Bait has been put out. Stun already lands from Nuke. Oh, little interrupt attempted, but not quite completing. Yokin, though, does have to burn the flash to get away.
Yeah, burns the flash. So still a good gank there. You know, putting a little bit of pressure on means that Yokin is going to have to play much more defensively as well. And another trap combo.
Yep, again comes in. Blackshot even down, just missing the timing. In fact, Latman missing the net as well.
Where'd it go?
And they're going to follow back in. They know the window is there. The flash burn from Latman as Bloodwater gets a binding turnaround here in mid lane. Descroton and Youngbin going through. Great push back in after the Trundle Pillar. Youngbin, oh, he does not live. Aurelia does burn him down with Ignite.
It's so close to getting that kill. And on the bottom side, it's UCI that comes out ahead again on this. This is going to be first turret. University of Ottawa just has to leave a potentially solo gold. More farm missed here for Psionics as well. And yeah, that's certainly the turret going down. And Bloodwater could just back off and give it all to Latman if he wants.
That looks like 2 waves.
They're going to come back, so they're going to try to fight it out.
All right, they're going to get a couple of creeps here and there. Maybe deciding to deny
Graves
the
is coming
maximum
down.
more than anything else.
Yeah, and with Zeri coming down, they want to play it safe. They know they're going to be able to pick it up eventually. So if the bottom lane returns, as University of Ottawa did, you're kind of getting suspicious since they are so low. Someone has to be around, and here comes Zeri. Does have flash. Could look to flash the bind.
Not super respecting this right now. Black Shield's down, but Latman again gets out, and Zeri just shoots him to death.
Yeah, nicely done there from Zeri. You know, as you said, not really giving the respect. You know, you should know that when a bot lane who's very low and very disadvantageous, you know, position with the items and everything walks up on you, someone else has to be there, right? There's no reason that those players would go for it otherwise, but Zeri just strolls on in and gets himself a kill. So a little bit of pressure reduced, and Lotus is just trying to get this wave to shove in, basically.
Nice pre-shield there from Bloodwater. Looks like he will pull the wave and freeze it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe Lotus should have tried to stay around. I'm not sure if he would have been able to get that unfrozen or not, but here's the play again. This is Backpack. He's level 5 going in on the level 6 Swain. Perhaps is just trying to bait out the ultimate, but does get 6. That level up is really what gets him the kill there. Gets Ignite, the ult comes out, and the turret shot just barely making it a trade.
Well, for the Ottawa fans, you can open one eye now. Look back down bot lane. Zeri riding the ship a little. Keep him close. All right, never mind.
It's a BF, 2 daggers and boots to a pickaxe.
Well, Zeri's going to have to do a little bit more work there on the bot side if you guys can reopen them. Then Creton again, nice trade back. Backpack still building up to those early items, and looks like Swain has been pretty solid so far in the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is one of those cases where it is going to be really, really tough for the bottom lane, and you have to ask yourself, what is the best way to play around this, as Lotus can lose most of his health. You know, do you actually play to the weak side of the map, or do you try to snowball elsewhere, right? And that is a tough decision that Zeri is going to have to make, because if he does not constantly come down here and cover, they will lose the turret 100%. But if he does, you're opting into a disadvantageous 2v2 and maybe even a 3v3 that could just be more behind.
Youngman getting so low, but a good flash out of the ulti. Now going to get rooted up by Morgana, and Descroton swoops in for the kill.
Yeah, and Zeri blowing the flash after the binding hit. You need to flash early in those sorts of fights. He needed to flash the binding to have a chance. Instead, he gets found, press the flash afterwards, and loses his life plus the summoner. And that's what can happen. I mean, when you're trying to fight around the weak side of the map, his lane cannot really support him.
Solo gold as well in the bot side, but never mind that for now, as Swain solo turret dive coming out. Just not really going to do too much to Swain. The Nova pops, and that's a solo killing spree.
Yeah.
Swain grabs kill number 3. It is getting ugly.
It definitely is. Don't need arms when you got wings.
Yeah.
Swain able to run him down. The gold lead for Latman getting even uglier. I mean, this is 4,500 gold to 2,700 at this point in the game, just on the 80 carries alone. You know, massively ahead in farm, 2 kills on the Caitlyn. You have that solo first turret gold as well, and yes, you have a top laner that is going to outscale and is going to be able to look for fights there, but it's very hard for them now from this position to get involved in any sort of team fight. Like, how do you dive into this super fed Swain with your Relia, who's very far behind, you know, with your Varus, who is very far behind, because that is going to make it very, very difficult to burst these guys down. And if you can't instantly kill someone at the start of the fight, you can't really win. But just nice root there from Backpack. And if you're not in a position to all-in Swain, there's not a lot you really get to do against him, because he's going to push you in, he's going to poke you out, and it becomes very, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, early Rotovaders versus just some components of the Trinity Force. So, talked about the gold lead being pretty strong. Last game for UCI, they're speeding things up here as Zeri has to get aggressive, but that ulted a lot, and Bloodwater once again securing a kill.
Yeah, Zeri just trying to make something happen. You know, he's trying to win a duel here against Youngbin, and were it just that 1v1, you know, perhaps he wins, right? But Latman and Bloodwater are here, and they are putting their Swain up in the top lane to try to clear, and they're just going to look to take down this turret. It's very hard for Aurelia to kind of wave clear this, because she has very little safe wave clear. If you dash forward into a binding, you can say goodbye, but for now, multiple members coming over, and they're trying to protect this, but Psyonix is kind of caught out.
Yeah, bit of a swap around. Psyonix forced to flash Youngbin with the pillar. Still chasing down. Youngbin should be good here. Has the team attitude. Slow. Vision of Empire is nice for a bit of extra bonus slow. But the smokescreen actually going to save him as Youngbin now turning back around to fight the Q. Not going to latch around, but a good Q from Varus does chunk down the Trundle. Still Youngbin will stay safe as UCI there to defend.
Yeah, the rest of the team from UCI comes in. They are there, and they are ready to fight if University of Ottawa looks to come into that. So despite the fact that Zeri can push back Youngbin, it's not going to amount to much in the overall picture. You can see Descraton is up 2 levels on Backpack, and you know, on the bottom side there's level disadvantages there as well for both AD and support, so that is going to be really, really tough to deal with. And no one's even in position to actually collect this wave coming from Descraton, and if the turret doesn't go down, it's going to get very, very low.
Yeah, 5,000 gold and counting in the lead for UCI. Before the Baron in the last game, it was 4,000 gold. We thought maybe there was something happen there if the turrets could go down. This is getting so rough for the University of Ottawa.
And it's so much earlier,
yeah.
Right? That is the really, really tough part, because there's not that much gold on the team. You know, when these completed items are coming through, and you know, one of the big advantages of a pick like Varus into a Caitlyn is when you hit one item, you hit that Rage Blade, you're supposed to be so much stronger than the Caitlyn, right? But because the Caitlyn is so far ahead, the Caitlyn is going to be quickly on 2 items after you get that Rage Blade, and that is really kind of, you know, skipping over the weak part of the game for Caitlyn and really getting to where she can start to take over. So it gets tougher and tougher for University of Ottawa, and despite the fact that they have a lot of engage and drafted for that in this second game, it's tough to look for those fights when you don't have the gold, when you don't have the levels and the items to really take them.
Yeah, and when they don't work, you fall further behind, and it just keeps snowballing in on itself. So Ottawa are going to have to pick their timing window very well in this game. Be on the lookout for potential UCI mistakes to capitalize on as well. But as we kind of already spoke to, the cleanliness of their gameplay has looked very good so far in the series. So you're not expecting them to trip up too much. It's Ottawa going to have to get really crafty to try and find a few picks and get themselves back into the game.
And that's why UCI is focusing very heavily on vision, right? They're trying to get more and more wards out. They're trying to have pinks out all over the map, because if you can control the vision, if you know where the University of Ottawa is always coming from, you won't be losing those fights, because if they are even fights, there's pretty much no way you're going to lose.
Yep, Zeri again gets the smoke screen down, but flash from Captain Nuke once again respecting the 2v2, and Yoken not quite in range to pull out the ultimatum, so Renekton will run away from that particular exchange.
Yeah, Nuke really doesn't have to do too much this game. You can just kind of slowly farm up, play it pretty safe, because there's such big advantages in mid, there's such big advantages in bot. You can afford to really kind of just allow yourself to get carried in a game like this. That's often the smartest way to play, because if you play aggressively, you open yourself up to actually being taken down, and that buys time for your opponents. That gives them opportunities to try to come back.
Yep, and again, you can see he's still kind of playing safe, being pressure in a side lane here, much like he was on Synth or the champions. Obviously functions very differently. Nuke
Go again.
Play with respect. Stun not going to land, but there's the ulti down. TP in instantly from UCI. Nuke going to pop the ulti and just try and stay alive for long enough for his team to come down to save him. Now Descraton looks for the root, doesn't land it. But that should be enough to save it and maybe grab a kill. He flashes in, he pops the ulti. He's going for it all right now. He's in a 1v2 and he does root Zeri. The Nova is going to come out and he grabs the kill in the mid lane. It's also a disaster. Lotus down to Lightman. The turret soon to fall as well.
Yeah, they just don't have the damage to take down Descraton. They know he's way too strong with the early tabbies. The Rod of Ages is already done.
Again.
He can just run him down. They're going to lose the mid lane turret here as well. Perhaps even the tier 2 is going to take a lot of punishment as Lapman and Bloodwater have really just crushed this game.
Yeah, Youngin again onto backpack. He's only a level behind the mid lane, but the ulti misses from Aurelia, and now going to have to run back. Dashes in towards the blue buff, but ace in the hole. Going to secure the kill for Caitlyn through the W damage reduction.
Yeah, bad going to worse here for University of Ottawa. They're trying to make plays. They know how far behind they are, but they just do not have the gold. They do not have the levels to really be able to pull off any of these fights. And you know, UCI is really just looking to speed run this game. They are looking to close this one out fast because they are closing in at a 10,000 gold lead, and we're not even 16 minutes into the game.
Only one dragon taken with one up in 3. That's how little time to play Ottawa has had so far. From the early landing phase, everything has gone UCI's way, and not only have they gotten the leads, they've just done such a good job of running away with them and making sure the game is as far out of reach as possible.
Yeah, and here it is one more time on the bottom side of the map. You know, Zeri and Yoka, they wanted to go for the play, take out the Renekton, but you just cannot fight this guy. You cannot turn around on him. The fact that he has phase rush, he flashes forward, that is proc. You can't even slow him, really. He's so resistant to those. With the phase rush, that Camille can't even really peel for Zeri whatsoever, and if they turn, they would lose the 1v2, so gonna have to give up a kill.
And that was even faster. Cloud Drake from Youngbin can give him some out-of-combat movement speed across the board.
And this is what I was talking about with the Varus versus Caitlyn, right? The Rage Blade completion is supposed to mean that you get to dominate the Caitlyn right now, but Rage Blade completion comes in the same time as IE Shiv and completed tier 2 boots for Latman. So there's really no point at which Psyonix is gonna get to have that kind of dominance over the Caitlyn. And you really just have to hope that you can delay if you are University of Ottawa. I mean, if you can make this game go 40, 45 minutes, that is kind of your win condition at this point, because that's how long it's really going to take you to catch up across the board and then maybe make something happen. But UCI can look to close it out so much faster than that. You know, with Baron going to be on the table in a couple minutes here, they should be looking for that. They should be looking to push the pace and grab that Baron and secure an early victory.
Even a Rift Herald actually from Youngbin, who must have taken the Herald in a replay. Does have that available to try and siege out another turret. Not that they need too much help right now with the 2-item Caitlyn, already level 11. But we're going to finally miss a binding.
You can always use a little help from Mr. Krabs.
That's true. Mr. Krabs hanging out. I guess it's Mrs. Krabs technically. That's fine. We'll talk about it later. As the nuke
Not assume the Rift Herald's gender.
Anyway, I don't have my sources to confirm what the gender of the Rift Herald is, so we will leave it for now. As Jokin is going to deal with it, but the pressure still mounting. Binding not going to grab Zeri or Lotus. Field goal there by Bloodwater. Usually good in other college sports. Not great in this one, unfortunately. The UCI again, they take another turret. 10,000 gold ahead and counting. 4 turrets to 0. The same sort of problem starting to mount here for Ottawa. Yep. Just, like you said, faster than before, which is never a good thing.
Yeah, definitely not. And UCI is playing this so well, and they may be able to pick here. We'll see if they can burst down the Swain.
Yep, they are going to get it done. Ignite down. Zeri grabbing that kill.
Nuke just comes in.
Yeah, Nuke's ready for a 1v4, starting things off. Youngbin soon here to assist. Kill going to split a couple. They get a kill on the rotation, taking down Jokin, and here comes the real damage dealer, Latman. Looking to lay in some autos, gonna get 1 kill on a backpack, gonna grab the double, the penta, starting to get lined up. There's a triple, he knows it, it's there. There's the quadra, gonna line it up and finish the game in style. Latman going down, and there it is, a penta kill for UCI's Caitlyn.
Incredible from Latman there, breaking the back of University of Ottawa. They went for the big play. They get knocked down. 19-minute inhibitor here. Penta kill for Latman. What a performance here from UCI in game number 2.
Bottom lane is well and truly overperforming here. They'll take the inhib, they'll recall, and Baron's up in 30 seconds. Seems like a good time to try and take it.
Yeah, looking so good in this game. And he's going to have so much gold in the bank. 3,500 gold on the Caitlyn. What is that? He's going to have another full item here. And Psyonix is going towards the AP Varus as expected, looking for that Nashers, but it's so far away. And this was a good play from University of Ottawa. You know, definitely didn't turn out well, but they got the immediate kill on Descraton. He didn't have Azonias. They burn him down. They're getting Captain Nuke, and you can see, you know, up in the jungle, Jokin trying to make something happen, but here is back to live.
Another pick, actually nice. Nuke will go down here. Potentially opens up space around the Baron.
Does open a little bit, but I mean, they're so far behind. This is what they have to do, though. They have to keep going for these fights. They have to keep looking, you know, for these aggressive plays and trying to really kind of buy time as much as they can. But even with one member down, at this point, I still favor UCI in a 4v5, I think. Like, there's still more gold on the map for them. So it does become very difficult. Latman is already on his 3-item power spike. This guy is a monster, has enough gold for another BF if he wants it. And it's all about Latman at this point. Yes, Descraton is extremely strong, and you have to worry about him, but like, as long as Latman is alive, you don't win the team fight unless he is severely, you know, misplaying. It says he's really making mistakes, because the amount of damage he's going to put out is nothing that anyone can survive on University of Ottawa.
He'd have to lose his like right-hand mouse button or something, as another kill is going to come out. Latman legendary with ease, 10-1-1 on the Caitlyn as they even the score back up on the man advantage, and straight to Baron for UCI.
I mean, he's like almost 2 items ahead of these guys at this point, right? You know, Triforce is the only item completed for mid and top. You know, he's so strong, and they're going to turn for the fight. Nope.
Yep. Again, another one coming up. Penta number 2 in the works, perhaps. Oh, Descraton, never mind. Going to shut that dream down, but Jokin going to get chased down by the rest of UCI. Bloodwater, nice binding, manages to seal that one.
Yeah, and Ottawa fighting it out. This is all they can do. You have to keep looking for picks. You have to keep trying to make plays because you can't just seed everything and expect to win. So they're not just going to slowly lose the game. They are going to go out fighting, but they are certainly going to go out in this one. They're down 17K, going to be 18K plus with this 21-minute Baron take.
Yep, Baron over. Bloodwater naps himself yet another kill. UCI also making plays of their own, just abusing their gold advantage as they pick off Ottawa one by one. And Nuke already had the minion wave there with Bloodwater to take down the inhibitor turret, so powering it up, they'll take that. They got super minions down the bot side, ready to worry about. And QSS now finished for Latman, just making sure that nothing bad can happen as they look to close the game.
Yeah, QSS, another BF sword. He is so incredibly strong, and Descraton bought up a full Zonias since we saw him die in the bottom lane, so it's going to be hard to burst him down as well. And this is just smart play from UCI. They have the vision control around the Baron. There's no use risking a 50-50, even though it's not really a 50-50. It's, you know, it still would be in their favor. Why chance it when you can turn and you can get that fight? I've got to give a lot of credit to Bloodwater because he has made binding look like a skill, like not like a skill shot, right? It has basically been point and click for him this whole game. Setting up Latman so incredibly well in the bottom lane, hitting binding after binding after binding, and Latman always there to follow up and get those kills.
Ooh, another binding, barely missing that time around. Cursed him as Dragon goes over to Young Vin. Again,
man, it's a classic.
It is a classic, most certainly. But more than happy with the state of the game, regardless of that couple of missed skill shots on camera. As,
if
again,
they're off camera, they don't count.
That's true. I didn't see them, so it didn't look like he missed it to me. I'd never know. Close your eyes every time he throws out a mic. He'll always hit them. A stun lands down. They actually do pick up Youngmin. Backpack, gonna get credit for that one. Now chasing down Nuke, but again, Latman's still alive. That means it's trouble as Nuke still getting chased. They'll barely miss out on that kill. I think Backpack maybe gonna still chase, but Latman's now chasing Lotus out of his own base. Does get comboed on, but nothing really left for Alstar to do. But by time, Nuke outplays. Does get a double kill in the top side of the map, and UCI are going to run it all the way down to the Nexus. Psyonix somehow lives through a very fake Caitlyn ultimate, but again, Nexus turrets are ready to be exposed. They'll shoot down a couple of inhibs on the way out to a cleaner 2-0 sweep. UCI have just played it so perfect. Psyonix also going to get himself taken down. Latman finally claims one more kill, as UCI will move on to the semifinals looking very, very strong.
Yeah, clean sweep here over University of Ottawa. Latman flashing forward, getting the final kill. 13-1-4 on the Caitlyn, a pentakill to boot. Looking so incredibly strong, but a lot of credit to his support. Bloodwater here as well. 19 kill participation. I think Bloodwater played an immaculate game on the Morgana. Really did set up Latman for success so incredibly well. And UCI has put out what I consider to be the most impressive performance so far in this tournament. They really do look like the favorites, and they are the highest seed remaining.
Yep. As the highest seed remaining after number one dropped out of the tournament yesterday, they are favorites and playing like it more than anything else. It's one thing to come in, as the number 2 seed. It's another thing to play like you're the best team in the tournament. So unfortunately for Ottawa, the journey here in the College Championship will end there. But for UCI, they're ready.
They are definitely ready for all comers. University of Ottawa, though, should be holding their heads high.
Certainly.
This is a group of students who were working very hard on their academics. This is not full-time esports club. They did not really have the support of their university, and they worked from the ground up, right? They built their own team. They built their own org and kind of got here on their own 2 feet. So really impressed by how they have played and how they have showed up as a school and as a group of players. So hopefully they can continue to build on that, continue to get better, and hopefully get the support of that university as well.
Certainly have to hope that happens, but UCI, I mean, I like kind of everything they did felt good, which is like a really good sign for any team. I mean, I'm trying to think of what mistakes they made, and I can't come up with very many.
No, you certainly can. I mean, there's little things here and there if you want to nitpick about perhaps some of the picks that they gave up, getting a little bit sloppy, giving up some here or there as they were very far ahead, but they just look so incredibly good. They play very well to their strengths. They cover their weaknesses. They know what their opponent's win conditions are, and they really do not give many opportunities, right? Like they are looking pretty bulletproof, at least in this series, against the University of Ottawa. And they've had standout performances from multiple players. Descarton looked monstrous on the Vladimir. Even better, I think, on the Swain. Latman was incredible in this game. There's really not much to nitpick at. Like, this is a team that looks like they're a very strong laning team, but also can play the map and play a very, very strong macro game.
And of course, we'll have to watch this one again. Descarton, I don't really want to call it an oopsie because he was kind of in the right place just a little too early, but everything else went more than fine here. Latman's like, oh, a free kill there in the jungle in rotation, and just kind of scoops up the rest of these.
Yeah, I mean, Latman walking in here, at this point, it's like, yes, it is an even number fight, but Latman is like 3 players. Like, he's walking in, and that is a 3-man flank coming in from the Caitlyn. Not much of a chance with the damage he is putting out. A penta off that. He went back to base with 3,600 gold when he was already a full item ahead. And that is quite the damage chart.
Hey, it's almost you stapled 5 of them together, and I think he did damage, or at least 3 of them. So I think your math is correct. He's about 3 players. Must feel bad though, because 2 carries played well, and Bloodwater probably the best-looking player still in that game and perhaps in this series. But again, for UCI, I'm starting to run out of praise for this team because they just did it so well.
Yeah, I mean, they played incredibly, incredibly well, and very excited to see how they're going to perform in the semifinals.
Well, before we get there, we're going to hear more about the victory. Let's send it over to Ovally and the UCI bot laner.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Latman. Congratulations on your victory. I mean, how does it feel to make your return to the big stage with such a grand performance and getting a penta?
Well, first of all, it feels really great. The penta was totally not expected, but I owe it to my great team. Actually, the team makes being back here on the stage such a great experience. It's really fun to be able to play on stage with a bunch of teammates that I really get along with, and we can joke around and stuff, and yeah, it's all great.
So last year, UC Irvine fell just short of the championship after Youngbin was picked up by Team Liquid. So how does it feel being back, being together as this new team, and how confident are you in this championship?
Well, it feels like we're really at home, especially with Youngbin being back on the team. We feel really confident having a full roster, no real mix-ups like we had last year. Actually, there was a little bump halfway through the season, but either way, we're feeling really good and really confident throughout the rest of the tournament.
Do you want to tell us what that bump is and how you overcame it?
Well, about towards the beginning of the season, we had to switch top laners from Tower of God to Captain Nuke due to some unforeseen circumstances. But Captain Nuke has really stepped up to the plate in a big way, and we're just as confident with him moving forward.
Great. And as some of us can see, you are holding what looks like a blow up of your head, and there are blow ups of all of your teammates in the audience as well. It looks like all of the students from UC Irvine came out to support you guys. Along with the students, you also have such strong school support. So, how has all of that affected your play?
Well, it really makes it feel like we're playing at home. In a literal sense, we are, since we're still in California. But the support is very appreciated and really helps us feel more confident moving forward.
Now, that being said, you guys have 3 former pros, including yourself, on your team. You have massive school support, probably the most out of any of the schools here. So you guys are basically expected to win, or rather, you should win. What's it like dealing with that pressure?
Well, I don't think that we ourselves as a team see ourselves as the favorite to win. We're taking it game by game, and the expectations, I don't think really play too much of a factor in how we're preparing for each game.
Great. Now, we've heard earlier that UC Irvine also has their final exams this week, and you mentioned maybe next week. So how are you guys balancing this championship and then also making sure that you pass your classes?
Honestly, it's pretty hard. To put it in perspective, a couple of our players just took 2 finals yesterday, Captain Nuke and Bloodwater. So it makes preparing for these games a little bit more difficult than it should be, I think. But overall, I think we're doing a great job balancing things. All of it has to do with not procrastinating, which is something I definitely had to learn how to do this year. And yeah.
Great. Well, congratulations again on your victory, and I wish you the best of luck in your next games. For everyone else, stick around, because coming up next, we're going to see University of Western Ontario take on University of Maryland.
They're just gonna die.
Another great Blackfield combo. Beautiful dive. Lotus does go down. Bloodwater even gets out from the headbutt combo here in mid lane. Descroton and Youngbin going through. Great push back in up to the Trundle pillar. Youngbin, oh, he does not live.
Varus, nice.
Keep going, keep going.
Let's go. Good job. Let's go.
Yeah. I love you guys.
Thank you, team.
UCI have just played it so perfect. Psyonix also going to get himself taken down. Lapman finally claims 1 more kill, as UCI will move on to the semifinals looking very, very strong.